Watto podcast interview with the JessRight. Let's go.
Wide.
I think so. That's what he said.
WHUDO.
Wide.
Oh, and I'm rolling while I drink. I hope that I can get your number and your name. I'm rolling backwards with a bottle of Bombay, and I might let the liquor speak just to see if I finally found the freak. Cause I'm rolling while I drink. I hope that I can get your number and your name. I'm rolling backwards with a bottle of Bombay, and I might let the liquor speak just to see if
Thank you, Watto.
if I finally found a freak. Cause I'm rolling while I drink. I hope that I can get your number and your name. I'm rolling backwards with a bottle of Bombay, and I might let the liquor speak, baby.
And just like that, baby, we are officially live on the official Watto podcast with your boy, Watto. Today's episode is a very special one. Wow. I took speech classes when I was a young kid, so I'm getting better. Special episode today, and it is episode 25 on the official Watto podcast. And we got a legendary guest, a local legend, someone I've known for a long time. The first female interview on the Watto podcast. So big shout out to her for that. Hopefully we have a lot more moving forward. But this is none other than JessRight. JessRight is a real estate boss. Can't even call her a realtor no more. Investor, okay? A networker extraordinaire and an influencer the right way. A lot of people claim this influencer term just because you got a goddamn page. She influences real life people. Raise your hand. There you go. So she's an influencer in my head. We're going to find out if we can get some new keys. Let's welcome into the show, Jessica Marquise. What it do?
Wow. Thank you.
On the official Watto podcast. How we doing, JessRight?
Doing good. Living well. How you living?
Staying busy, staying out the way. I appreciate you for joining this show. I like to give flowers out to the people that deserve it, to the people that inspire. You definitely do that.
Thank you. I appreciate the intro.
You got to. And now for everybody that's watching.
Hold on. Shout out to you for even doing this show. I respect it. I love what you're doing. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. We are getting better, Jess. At one point, it was just me in a brown wall. Still a brown wall, little colors, okay? A couple of things in the background. We're getting better. But it's all about the guests. We've had great ones. We got a great one today. Now, Jess, I say we get right into it. Can you give us a little bit of background on you growing up?
Growing up.
Before JessRight.
Before JessRight, yeah. So I grew up here in Florida. I used to claim New York because I was born there. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a New Yorker. I'm not. I'm a Floridian. Born and raised here, and then played basketball. So, we have that mutual Hooper code. So
nice.
Played basketball.
Nice.
had the little shot. I had a little shot. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that little set shot. Okay, a lot of girls that set shot. Cash.
Right. So yeah, danced, played basketball, and then grew up, moved to Orlando for a year, partied, worked for Publix for a little while. I was slanging groceries, and really learned customer service and what I didn't want to do with my everyday life. And then got my real estate license. So 5 years later, I'm a licensed realtor, investor, and I also do short-term rentals.
Period. And now for anybody watching this episode live, I appreciate you. Anybody that will tune in moving forward, I appreciate you. And if you like it, go ahead and subscribe. Now I have my pen out. Usually.
Oh, what happened? He said he's taking notes this episode. Come back, Watto.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to grab something.
You're ready to take some notes.
I guess that's what that button on the mouse does. So I usually take notes here. Today we got a blank page. I usually write notes, and those are my questions. Today we got a blank page because I'm taking notes. Miss JessRight is someone that really drops gems, drop knowledge all the time. So I'm ready for the gems. I'm ready for the knowledge. If you don't got a pen and pad, you should. You're welcome. Now, Miss Jess, speaking on the Publix, okay, we know you were there for a little bit. I remember those days. Do you believe the customer is always right? I do not believe that statement. I personally believe the customer is always important. You're important for me to be here, give you respect, but they can't all be right. Do you believe that?
Listen, the customers are not always right. That's a given, of course. But it's really just the energy that I learned working customer service is like, is the manager going to back you up? Like, is it worth proving like, hey, you ate this whole box of fried chicken and now you're trying to return it? You know what I mean? Like, should I just give them their money or call the manager? You know what I mean? So yeah, customers are not always right. It's just you have to care deeply for the customer and make them feel like they're right. You get what I'm saying?
I've heard that a lot. Man, they don't got to be right, but why just make them feel right? And I'm like,
right.
You know who we're dealing with at the front desk here?
It takes a little bit.
Now, if I believe, are you Portuguese?
Ooh, how do you know that?
Okay. Memory's not too great, Jess. Okay. Hey, I like to, okay. But that's one of the ones I remember. Now, Jess, you've always been a swaggy, always well-dressed, always your own style kind of girl, kind of woman nowadays. Even back then, who do you attribute your style to, if anybody?
That's a tough one. I would say, and I know this might sound weird because it's a guy, but my older brother, shout out to Dave. He always told me, Jess, you got to, think outside of the box. Because sometimes I'll be like, ew, what kind of shoes are you wearing today? He's like, you got to diversify your portfolio, as we would say in real estate, but with style. You know what I mean? So he really inspired me with that.
I can tell.
Don't nobody show him this video.
Right. Can't let him know that. Shout out to Dave. I've hooped with him a lot too. So now we'll go ahead. Absolutely. We'll go ahead and dive right into it. The real estate world. Now, there's one of my mom's best friends. Shout out to Julie. Julie almost raised me pretty much. And she's a realtor, always been, and always told me I should get into real estate. Why? You'd be so good. But she always told me, Jess, real estate, the business is cutthroat. It's so competitive. Can you speak on that a little bit? Because it all looks nice, but how cutthroat is it in reality?
Yeah. Well, I mean, your point right there, your mom's friend is a realtor. Everybody's moms or dads or cousin is a realtor. We have friends, we have the same mutual friend, a couple of them that are realtors, right? Yeah. So it's like, so many, so there's a lot of competition. So why should that person use you over their cousin, over their teammate, over their, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of bring a lot of value to the table. But really it's all in relationships.
Yeah. So that's anything with anybody. You got a car shop, so do other people. Why should I go to yours?
Exactly.
And now there's a question I haven't asked really any of my realtor friends. JessRight, how long is the realtor relationship with a buyer? Does it end after the house is sold? How long does the relationship last?
If you're a commission breath type realtor is what we call it, then yeah, like once they close, it's like, all right, never talk to them again. If you're a real person and you value relationships, then you're going to make, and trust me, I had to learn this, like you make the notes of, all right, they close on October 1st of 2022. Let me make that note to make sure I reach out to them next year. Because even if you don't talk on a weekly basis, you want to, touch in every couple times in a year. And of course, be friends on Facebook and do what you can to just stay in touch. And just keep that lifelong, because they will call you in a couple years, or their family members will call you, so it's just staying in touch. You
might have sold their house, but what about the aunt, the uncle, the cousin? If their relationship, their interaction with you was so great, you have to call Jess.
Exactly.
Or if you deaded it after they sold it and you don't even know who the fuck they are, which happens. Who are you? You sold my house, man. You don't remember? It was the biggest day of my life. You were just the third option that day. My bad.
Exactly.
So we'll keep on rolling here. Now, how long have you been in the field of real estate? We know you've kind of switched it up here, different venues now, but in total, how long have you been in the field of real estate?
5 years now as a licensed realtor.
Now, on that note, on my show, I always preach to my fans, to my people, to my friends, to my fucking self. The whole point of this show, Jess, is so I can speak the message that I wish I could have seen. So half the time I'm literally just looking at myself, talking to myself, hoping somebody can relate. Except when I get great interviews like you. My question, though, would the Jess 5 years ago believe that what you're doing today is possible in reality?
Oh, you know what? That's a great question. That's a great question. 5 years ago, the Jess would not think that any of this is possible, because you know why? I didn't really truly believe in myself. Um, and I mentioned this before. You have to like really believe in yourself in order to do anything. You know that. So 5 years ago, I didn't have that self belief, that confidence, or even that work ethic in order to build that confidence.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 years ago, I did not see this. But I think it's an amazing journey because it shows you, wow, like if you really put in the work, you really believe in yourself, this is what's possible.
Proof is in the pudding. The great Mark Twain once said, whether you
Yes.
think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So it's all about that self-confidence. And now,
Hmm.
Jess, on my show, I always preach, stop comparing ourselves to the celebrities, the pro
Mm.
athletes, the popping bitches, whoever, and compare yourself to you. Last week, last year, 5 years ago, and you might be surprised with how far you've come. Jess Wright just told you 5 years ago, she wouldn't have believed where she is today. You can't look forward, but the dots connect looking backwards. So I'm glad to say that, Jess. Now, what about 1 year ago?
One
Would you
year
believe
ago.
you're here where you are today? And I'm saying not even business wise, mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally, the whole nine.
Mm. I mean, I think it's a nonstop journey, right? Like we have this destination in mind and we get so caught up in that destination, that $1 million house, paying off family members' houses, all that. We get caught up in that, right? But even a year ago, I was believing in myself, yes. But even looking back, it's like, wow, I grew so much from that point. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So it's like, yes, I did believe I would be here, but I'm in a totally different mind frame from just that year span. So it's pretty wild to think about it.
Yep. And that's issues, that's problems, that's wrong, that's being wrong, failures all
Right.
add up to growth. I can do it. I'm not dead. I'm still moving. Let's move forward. Now,
Yep.
looking back, Jess, on all the deals you've done, I try to go chronological. I can't ever do it. We're going to go all over the place here. Are there any deals that you can look back on your whole career that you wish you could have gotten back? You wish you could have resold, repitched it as Jess now, looking backwards?
Mm. I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so because every deal, this is what I do like about real estate, every deal is different. And then so when you mess up or you feel like you could have done something better, you're so much better on the next
You
deal.
apply
If
it.
that makes sense. Right. So you learn so much. So I really wouldn't change a thing. What I would in my mindset now is I would, not that I didn't care, but when you first start making money in real estate, you're like, damn, this is good money. This is good
Right?
money. You get kind of caught up in the money part, where if you just stay focused on, I'm going to take care of this person like they're my family member, and I'm going to I'm going to build a real relationship. That's where you really start to set, yourself apart from the others.
Yeah, because as like a rapper, as a basketball player, as I
Mhm.
got better, as I elevate, I'm always like, man, if I'd have been this good back then, oh God. So I just thought the same thing
Oh,
for real
right,
estate. Did
right.
you have any secrets, but you're the type of person, I doubt you're gonna drop any deals, Jess. I mean, good Lord.
No, stop it.
I'm just saying, like,
So, okay, I get what you're saying. So, I would say in the first year of real estate, it took me a few months to get my first commission check. And it was because somebody brought me into their deal. Right. So, in that point, looking back at it, I kind of wish I would have consumed more YouTube videos, more podcasts, to feel more confident, to make cold calls, to get more listings, to go door knocking, because that's where the bread and butter is. Once you start really, really hustling, you're gonna get deals. You're gonna get deals. You're gonna get your skin is gonna become thicker. You know what I mean? You're gonna talk to more people. So that's where you really grow. That's what I would do different.
I like that. Now, obviously, she's selling real estate, but that can also just be a house. It could also be land, property. And you said a lot of things. I've watched your Instagrams. Obviously, we're close, but one of the things you say is not all money is good money, and I
Mhm.
agree with that. But is all property good property? Is all land? Is all houses good houses, good land? Does the same apply there?
Depends. It depends.
Location,
If you're an investor, if you're one of those that's, this is my forever home. If you're just staying in it temporarily, if it's a stepping stone, it all depends. Maybe I'm biased, but I do think all real estate is good real estate because you have that ownership and you cannot beat that. You have, you have that opportunity to have equity in the properties. Whereas, renting, you don't really get none of that money back. So that's the difference for me.
I like that, because obviously not all money is good money, but
Mhm.
even though the land might not be good for you, it's somebody's situation is gold. Somebody's situation, that's their mansion dream paradise. Got to keep
Somebody
building.
has, the concrete to start building the house on it, so everybody's situation is different.
Yep, the
Or
vision that you don't
you
have.
might, have the tiny houses and build a whole glamping, campsite and do Airbnb. Everybody's situation is different.
And now on that tip, because obviously sometimes realtors are buying to flip, they're buying to
Mhm.
renovate. Does a realtor have a team, Jess? And is it important to have a team, meaning set contractors, a carpenter, electrician, plumbers? Is that your team right there?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Contractors. And that's something I'm still building because listen, it's a crisis. We have a
Yeah.
shortage of good contractors, truly. So if you have a good contractor, a good contractor, always feel free to send them my way. I'm always looking because it's still, you want to build a team, right? People that you can trust to where you don't feel like you have to be on the job site every day to make sure everybody's doing it right, clocking in at the right times. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
definitely team is essential.
It's always team. I mean, I've done construction a lot of my life, and I've always seen the guys that are construction workers or subcontractors. When they have a guy that's a realtor or an investor and they're his crew, they succeed. The realtor succeeds. So a
Right.
lot of people are missing that, Jess.
Right.
Come on
100%. I
now.
agree. I
You a
agree.
hustler. You got good work. Just right. Might be
Hmm.
just right for you.
Right.
So now,
It's a good thing.
are there levels to real estate? Because like I said, obviously we got people that flip, we got people that just sell it, we got the rentals. You're bringing on short-term rentals, Airbnb. Are they all levels of real estate, or is it all kind of one thing?
So it's under one umbrella, but
Mhm.
there's different avenues that you can go with real estate. You can be a straight up realtor. This is what I do. I'm full time. You can become a broker, or you can be an investor friendly realtor where you help other investors. That's what I like to do. That's kind of my thing. I like to help other people make money too,
Hmm.
because there's plenty of money out here to be made. We don't have to be greedy or snakish or cutthroat, like you mentioned earlier. So there's totally, of course, the rental side. There's so many different ways of real estate. There's people that just buy land, like you mentioned, and just develop it. And that's a whole nother game right there. Apartment buildings, commercial, everything. So don't let this, if anyone is watching this and they want to get into real estate, don't let this overwhelm you. Because trust me, I didn't know anything when I first got into real estate. And I'm over here helping people buy houses and I didn't even own one at the time.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of different strategies.
And what would you say to the people that might get into real estate and might overwhelm themselves by trying to get into all those avenues before setting themselves in one, learning the next? Because I
Mhm.
think that can happen, Jess. You get in, I want to flip one, I want to sell one, I want my name on the damn sign out there. Should you go all in and try to hit all avenues, or should you take one by one?
Yeah, I mean, take this how you want to take it. Everybody has a different personality. I suggest, from my personal experience, master one thing at a time. Because if you try and be a jack of all trades, you don't really master any. There's some quote like that. I'm not gonna even try and rephrase it, but just master one. So if you want to go in and be a realtor, just master being a realtor first. And focus on truly helping people. If you want to be an investor, you don't have to get your real estate license. Master how to get off market properties, connect with wholesalers, learn the marketing, learn how to send out mass text messages, learn how to pull comps, so really, really master it, because then that's where you mentioned that's how you build a team. And then the team helps you grow that. And then you learn something else. All right, let me see what it takes to build houses now.
Yes. And are you a fan of surround yourself with people that are doing better than you, smarter than you? When, as a young realtor, were you surrounding yourself? We're going to get into networking here. Were you
Mhm.
surrounding yourselves with people that were doing it? And did that take you a little while to realize that's the secret to success?
Ooh, so I didn't surround myself around better people soon enough,
Boom.
right? So I was around people that were doing real estate and they were doing well. And I saw how much money they were making, but they were very money driven as well, you know? So, I think if you do surround yourself, I'm all about surrounding yourself by people that are doing better than you. Yes. Because you learn from them and your mindset shifts, you know, and once you expand your mind, you don't go back unless you just choose to not grow. And but once you expand, that's it. Like you're out. So you start to build other relationships that are expanded as well, you know, but you can't judge other people either if they're not at the same, mindset as you. So you can't get caught up in the, nose tooted up in the air either. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's a balance.
No, definitely a balance. And so, how
Mhm.
important would you say is networking? Because you were one of the first people, Jess, that was really on the networking tips, setting up events, pulling up to events. How important is that?
Listen, it's everything. It is everything. Networking, because it's not about who knows, it's not about who you know necessarily, it's about who knows you. Just because I can say I know this person and this person, do they know me? Are they going to think of me when they want to invest in real estate? You know what I mean? So
Hear
it's
you.
building those relationships because we don't know everything. I don't know everything, right? But I know this person who specializes in this. I know this person that I can call because it's a triangle. You don't have to bring all corners to the table. Just bring one
Yeah.
and hold it up. You
It's
know what
not
I'm
always
saying?
what you know, it's who you know and who knows you.
Yes, 100%.
Now, you've also been very well traveled. I've seen you go different countries all over the place. And in my opinion, that helps people get humbled. And in my opinion, the quicker you humble yourself in this life, the quicker you will succeed.
Yeah.
Thinking you're the shit, I am number one, might get you a little somewhere, but at the end, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
How impactful has traveling been to you, Jess? You've been traveling since a young kid. I've always seen it. How impactful is that?
Wow. Traveling is very special to me, in my opinion, because you meet so many people that you'll probably never see again in your life. You experience different cultures and you see how people live and how they eat and how, you can go to Europe and you see that people walk everywhere and that, like, and we're just complaining because gas prices are high. So you really see the difference of the quality of life and how much happier sometimes people can be, and they they walk places with no shoes and they make their own bread, and we're upset for what? So it really changes your perspective on life. Like every day is a good day, not to sound cliche. Oh, that rhymes.
Hey, come on, Jess. Don't take my spot as the rapper. Right. And I mean, it's just so true because I feel like in America, we might have a lot of wealthy people, money wise,
Mhm.
but outside of the country and even in the country,
Mhm.
a lot
Yeah.
of rich people. But rich
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a dollar sign. They're rich full of life. A lot of people
Mhm.
overseas just don't even lock their doors at night. Lock the
Right.
doors. We're all family here. What do you mean? And
Right.
gathering for dinner as a family is the thing, is the
Yeah.
celebration that we just look over as what are we eating?
Mhm.
God damn.
Right.
We're missing out, Jess. So I think it's so important for people to travel, get out of your city, your community, your
Mhm.
country. God damn, the quicker you can do it, the better. I
Yeah,
mean,
because you meet more people. And honestly, like I have a friend from the UK, and I just noticed how, nurturing and, like caring and genuine that she is towards other people that she does not even know. So, and I know you preach heavy on mental health, and I 100% like applaud you for doing that because it's so important, because we can get caught up in the motions of life, right? But it's just like, let's just genuinely care about people. Let's smile when we're walking by, say good morning, like
right,
just
right.
be human. Let's just speak.
And do it because you want to do it. I see a
Right.
lot of people. I might have been victim one time where I'm gonna hold the door for this person, and they'll walk out and they won't even say nothing. You're welcome.
Right.
Then I'm like, I'm tripping wide up. The point was I
Right.
want to be a good person. So if you
Yeah.
do it just because you want to do it, you'll always be good.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
we've been around the world, okay, and that's something I need to do more, Jess. Something I need to do more. Get out there. I've seen your
Highly
pictures all over the
recommend.
place. Islands, beaches, colors of water and sand I never even thought of. Gotta do it. Now back to investing, because you are an investor extraordinaire, and I love to see it. Now, as JessRight the investor, do you have
Mhm.
rules for investing? Do you have rules that you set?
Yeah. So I'm more of because I'm short-term rental focused nowadays. So my buy box is what they call it, is something that can still cash flow with a long-term tenant. So a long-term tenant being a 12-month annual lease, right? So I'm not going to buy a house just because I predict it's going to do 5,000 as a short-term rental. But what if we go into a recession and nobody wants to travel, or COVID hits and nobody wants to travel? What's your backup plan? So I don't buy just for short-term rentals, right? So you want to make sure that it cash flows. I recommend at least minimum $200 a door. And that was my original goal. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to own a lot of doors, a lot of real estate
Right.
to even like make a lot of money. But the key is your strategy, right? Because if you own, especially first time home buyers, if you purchase a duplex or a quadplex, you live in that one unit and you rent out the others, right? And they're paying your mortgage. So you're just pocketing every month. You can still pay what you were going to pay your mortgage, but
Right.
you just pocket to purchase more real estate, right? So, I mean, I'm a fan of like multiple doors, duplex, quadplex, anything 5 unit and up. I'm personally looking for right now, because it's the more doors you have, the more cash flow.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of those where you go around and it's like a 10 unit, one house, but it's like a 10 units in one. It's like, man, this
Yep.
is cool. Or the quadplexes. What are your opinions on condominiums? Are you a fan of condos?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of HOAs.
Boom.
Yeah.
We'll
So
get there.
HOA, yeah, because yes, you own the property, but you don't really own it because you have to abide by their rules. So if I bought a condo, I am a fan of like the beachfront, open up to the beach. Of course, it's beautiful. I'm not personally a fan of the HOA telling me that I can't run my business out of it when I'm not staying there. I don't like that.
Oh, got you, got you. So not only do they interfere with the people that live there, but they're interfering with the owners that are trying to rent shit out there.
Right.
Wow.
100%. Sometimes you have to read if you buy something in a HOA, you do have to read the regulations, because you might have to live in it as a primary for the first 2 years
Right.
before you can even rent it out legally, so
Mhm.
there's a lot of rules.
Yeah, because like when we go down and get wild in Miami, Brickell, we stay at the Airbnbs and condos, and like
Right.
floors 10 through 16 are all rentals. Everything above is residential living there the whole time.
Yeah.
So now it makes sense. Only certain units are allowed, because up here, we're not dealing with renters. Get the fuck away from us.
Right.
Makes sense.
It
So I
makes
always
sense.
wanted to ask this, Jess. How does, you don't have to get personal on you, but how does the taxes work with realtors? Are your taxes taken out off rip? Is it up to you at the end of the year? What's that like?
No, you better save. You better save for Uncle Sam.
Gotcha. So
Yep.
like a 1099 almost. Okay.
Oh yeah, 1099, of course. So when tax season comes around, you're coming up out of your pocket. But if you find, and this is still something I'm even working on, if you find a really good CPA around this time, October, November, December, you're going to start talking with your CPA. Okay, what do I need to do right now? What do I need to purchase in order to save on taxes when January comes around, right? So you want to be able to, and of course, purchasing real estate is one of the best ways to save.
Yeah, gotta be. But I always wondered that, like, hey, do they take it out off rip and we're just partying, or a lot of these people getting big checks and forgetting that at the end of the year, now we don't
Nope.
see them anymore. I was flipping all those houses.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense.
No, yeah. 2020, I had like COVID year. I had like the best year in real estate as a realtor. And I was just going through money, just, enjoying it. And never, that money was coming in. I was enjoying it. And then tax season came around and I was like, damn,
Hello.
what did I do with all that money?
Wow. And now, did you have any rules with your tax money? Because like when we used to have sport betting for a little bit. Thank God they
Mhm.
took it away, Jess, because I ain't losing no more. Might not have won anymore, but I damn sure ain't losing no more. But I
Right.
had rules for every money, all the money I made, I'd go 10% always put away, not even touching it. That's for taxes.
Mhm.
70% I use for me, pay me back, and the other 20 I use to play back. As
Right.
a realtor, with your money and that you have to pay for Uncle Sam, do you have rules to ensure you're covered?
Yeah, so you can do a Uncle Sam account. You know, like you said, let me take 10% every check and put it in there. But it's solely up to you. Like if you don't have that self-discipline, you're gonna come out of your pockets come tax season, or you're gonna get set up on the IRS payment plan and and just coast through it like that. Which is never fun. You know, it's never fun. So yeah, I recommend taking a percentage every single check, placing it in the savings account, just saving it.
Yeah, because those things people don't talk about, and that's the reality, Jess.
Don't
I
talk
was
about
big
it.
in the rap game. A lot of people want to be a rapper. I didn't
Right.
sign no deal. A deal is a front, and you owe me. You're not making any money till this is paid for. So a lot of people forget the taxes. They're coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're coming.
And that's why, back to networking, once you start networking and you're in the room with millionaires that have been doing this for years, they tell you, oh no, you need this CPA, right? You
Yep.
need to invest in this real estate because you can use depreciation. So you're just aware of just more techniques that you can do.
And you get to learn from their struggles. So,
Yeah.
and if you're a smart one, you don't got to make it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from it. History repeats itself. Hello.
Exactly.
Now, you're definitely an entrepreneur, Miss Jess. What do you believe is an entrepreneur? I think that term is used very loosely these days, as a lot of these terms are. But what, in your opinion, is an entrepreneur?
First and foremost, a problem solver. You definitely solve problems. You stay composed while you solve these problems. Obviously, an entrepreneur is more than just one stream of income, right? So you learn balance, right? So entrepreneurship is mastering one trade and setting that up on systems and operations. Those are the two dynamics, in my opinion, that are most important. Because without systems and operations, you're still in the business, actively working in the business. Entrepreneurship is being able to build the business, set the systems and operations, and then walk away from the business and create content and start, working with brands and then create this, right? And then purchase this multifamily. You can't do that as an entrepreneur if your systems and operations aren't in place. And a lot of people, including myself, it took, over a year just in the short-term rental business to really deep dive into the systems and operations. And now it's like, oh, okay, this is how we do it. And this is how we're going to build it once. And then every single new unit that we get is plug and play.
Right.
Just plug and play. So that was a very long answer for the
No, but it's real though. It's real. It's a long ass word, Jess. It's only right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Because everyone have their own thoughts on entrepreneurships, and it's definitely not for everybody.
It's definitely changed these days. Like I think in high school, we went to the same high school, and I think I can only remember one guy that was like a bring your whatever to work, and he told us about entrepreneurship, trade schools, be your own. And to me, the entrepreneur was just inventor. I can invent shit. I got a lot of great ideas. Now it's definitely changed. But and I've looked the word up. I've looked the definition up quite a few times, and in that definition, it says my favorite thing, Jess: take great financial risk. A lot of people will claim that entrepreneur, they got put on, they got blessed something. They just took a simple shirt, which you might be. But when you're taking that great financial risk, now you're an entrepreneur. Even if you're selling shirts, do your thing. Keep doing it.
Whatever it is. 100%. I agree. And I think that comes down to, because I'm big on, wellness and, making sure that you're taking care of yourself, nourishing yourself, working out. And I've noticed that tapping into myself first, the beginning of the day in the morning, not tapping into my phone, not getting up and taking 15 minutes and then going to do whatever I have to do. No, taking that time for me helps me make decisions throughout the day, because every single thing is a decision. Every phone call, every email, if you're going to put in an offer, what the number is going to be, what's the highest it's a lot of decisions, So if you just get up and go, you're going to drive yourself insane.
It's decisions and it's a lot of energy. A lot of people are forgetting. Like, I don't like to call it a fake world. It's just a materialistic, created world. Everything you see right here is created by somebody. But we're also living a real world. At the end of the day, the beginning of the day, Jessica Marquise is a human being. And a lot of people forget to check in on that side, like what she's saying, working out, eating right, do your thing before you go into I'm just right, the realtor boss.
Right.
Make sure you're good as a person first and foremost. Speaking on the mental health, same kind of thing. Check in with you. Am I doing all right? Even if you're not, tell yourself, man, it's a shitty day. But you know what? Got a good family. I'm not that ugly. Let's get to work. Check in with
Right.
yourself.
Yeah. And I noticed like starting your mornings with gratitude helps a lot because we wake up on the wrong side of the bed sometimes. Like we're human. Sometimes you wake up, you don't feel like doing anything, right? But if you just switch that mindset of, what you have, everything that you have, you approach the day in a different way.
Now, on the Wado podcast, I don't get too crazy and in depth, but let me ask you this: as the first female surprise guest on this show, thank you so much, Jess.
Thank
Do
you
you
for having me.
believe in the whole astrology thing, the zodiacs and all of that? Are you one of those?
All right. So let's talk about it. I do think that it makes a lot of sense, right? When you start to read into the different signs, okay? I'm a Leo, so a lot of people are like, oh, Jess, you're a Leo. I can see that. You're very extroverted, So it makes sense, but I don't believe that you can be like, oh, because you're, a Scorpio, you act that way. Like, come on.
Just already cancel it up. Can't even talk to you. Can't talk to him. Nope, she's got no
Right.
chance.
Oh,
What's your
no.
birthday?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And I've always thought it was some bullshit, to be honest. But I read it, girls be like, "Oh no, I'm telling you, you're," and I'll fuck with them. Well, what am I? What am I? And I'll read the things. Okay, yeah, I'm Aquarius sometimes, whatever. But Jess, when I think about it, especially
You're
what
an
you're saying about
Aquarius,
these,
you said?
could you tell? No.
Oh, I think so. I think we get along.
Oh, we're compatible. Okay, we get along. We're friends. Like
We get
all
along.
those shits. For people that don't know, if you go on these astrology sites, I'm talking about who you can marry, who your friends are, who to watch out for. Like, hey, somebody from last week. I'm just like, yo, how the fuck do you know?
Sometimes it's very accurate, though.
Hey, shout out to Nostradamus. I have friends to this day, Jess, mutual friends that will post on Twitter for the past 12 years every day. Your zodiac sign says this. And I'm like, yep.
Oh, right.
I don't know if it's just automated or what, but
Automatic.
somebody's believing it. And I don't know. Who knows, Jess? Maybe it's real. But I do think, speaking on how important your morning is, your routine when you wake up. So I know for sure if I wake up at this time compared to this time, I'm going to be a whole different person, whole different mood, right?
Yep.
Well, is it the same shit for when you're born in different times of the year? And that explains, because when I think about that, maybe I'm a little too vitamin, filled up or whatever, but I'm like, maybe it makes sense. So I don't know, Jess. Had to ask you. Maybe I'll look into it. So
Right.
couple more before we wrap up. I appreciate you giving us your time on this Wado podcast. And I appreciate anybody that's tuning in live, anybody that watches this moving forward. The great JessRight has always been right.
Right.
What's your thoughts?
From fire emojis for Wado and his podcast.
We're trying. We're getting better. We're trying. What are your thoughts on cold calling and door-to-door sales? Is it important? Is it where the money's at? You hinted on it earlier, Jess. A lot of people are scared this, but all the ballers say, hey, big fuck it, dude. I knock on 4 doors. I'm good for the day.
Mm-hmm. Listen, personally, cold calling is everything that changed my business. And not only my business, but the investing side of real estate. I was able to find a house for $40,000 from the 8th call. You know what I mean? I wasn't on there dialing. Now, don't get me wrong. It's going to take you to dial 200 and 500. And I did all that. But then, you dedicate your energy to it and you find the off-market deals. You find the listings. You find the buyers sometimes, So it's getting over that fear of cold calling or that fear of door knocking. I'm not going to lie. I don't do a lot of door knocking. I've done it before. I wasn't a huge fan, but cold calling, I personally believe, is the way to go, because you cold call, especially if you're a realtor and an investor, you have 2 options. All right, well, if you want to sell top dollar, I got you. All right, if you need to go right now, your family's in need, I got a cash offer for you. So it's like you wear 2 hats, but you listen. First, you would be a good realtor, Wado, because you're a good listener. You're a good listener. So because you have to listen to people. Yeah, you got to listen to people, see their pain points, See what are they going through, because that's how you're going to mirror them and their energy. Okay, their husband is sick. They really need to get to Alabama. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I can be here for you to take care of everything. Right? I got you. Now they trust me like a family member. Right? So it's just listening to people. But yeah, get on the phones. Talk to people. I had people curse me out, hang up on me. I don't care.
Who cares? That's the biggest thing, Jess. People are scared of the no. They're scared of the denial. But once you get hard enough to take those no's and you get one of them yeses, you forgot all them fucking no's.
Right. All out the window. It's out.
So, and I've heard that whether it's solar sales, and I got to stop right there because some of these motherfuckers come door to door and I'll tell them 3 times and no, bro, it's not good. So all door to door, all cold calling is not good. But you just got to do it for you. So Jess, were you one of those that's literally on the call each time? Hello. Or did you have a little pre-automated when they pick up, now you're on the phone call?
Yeah. So I had a dialer it was a triple dialer. So it called 3 people at one time. So if one person picked up, but then another person picked up, I recorded a fake message. So it would be like, hello, can you hear me? Hello. Oh, I'm going to call you right back. And then it'll hang up on them. So I'm still on the other line with somebody else, like, hey, 123 Main Street, thinking about selling. And they're like, no, F you. Boom. It'll automatically call back that person that I couldn't hear. You get me?
No, that's fucking genius right there.
Yeah. So I was the one. Yeah. I was doing a lot of the cold calling. I did try out paying someone to do the cold calling for me. Wasn't a huge fan of it. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But
I mean, it's got to be you.
Yeah,
but that scheme right there is hard, Jess, because I'm saying, imagine, old Miss Johnson. Hello, I'm here.
Right.
Well, I hope she calls me back because I really want to buy that property right there.
They're going to answer.
That's big time, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
Couple more, then we'll get you out of here. We'll go away. Now, did you have any inspirations? We see a lot of these influential guys, influencers of the real estate game, the Grant Cardones, little Gary V out here. Are you a fan of these guys? Did you take anything from them?
Yeah, absolutely. Grant, he's a big multifamily guy, and I 100% agree with that. He thinks single family homes are trash. I do short-term rentals, so I'll take single family, I'll take multifamily, I'll take a 15 unit, you know what I mean? Like I'm more diverse than Uncle G, but I have taken a lot from him. And then Gary V, you mentioned, he's amazing. Mindset and creating content, because essentially we are our brand, right? Yep. Yes, I work with eXp Realty, but people don't give a damn about eXp Realty. They want to know who Jessica Marquise is and how you can help me. Do you have my best interest in heart? Whether that's realtor or investor, right? So it's just really just building that brand with your content and what you're dropping in order to really provide the best service, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will get shy away from a Grant Cardone or a Gary V. I'm not a super fan of either of them, but you can take gems from each and apply it to you. You don't got to go sell everything off fucking eBay like Gary Muggs, but that hustle, that drive can apply to you. That fear of fuck it can apply to you.
Right.
Off the top, you got any artists you're listening to right now, Jess? You've been always well-versed in music, a little diverse. Anybody these days you're listening to? I'm a big Snow Allegra fan. Okay, I got a little jazz going.
Oh, Snow is that girl. That's my go-to. She's
really?
my go-to. And then rap, I like Larry June. I don't know if you know Larry June, Mr. Organic. He's a nice vibe. Blast is cool. And of course, I mean, Drake will always be Drake.
Come on now.
Drake will always be Drake. Right.
What are we doing?
What are we talking about?
Come on, Jess. I mean, as people that grew up through his glow up, what are you gonna tell us? I get it. You don't gotta like the man, but instead of let's see his best songs, pull me out his worst songs.
Right. Exactly.
Can't deny him. Now, I got to ask you this before I let you go. I ask all my guests this question.
Talk to me.
Who knows if you found it? We can apply it to people, relationships. We can apply it to anything in life. JessRight, Jessica Marquise. What does love mean to you?
Ooh.
I gotta know. I'm looking for it. I gotta know what I'm looking for, Jess.
Right. That's a deep question, and I think love means something different to everyone in their situation, because love to me is just a really deep connection and a deep mutual understanding. If we're talking like romantically, a deep connection and understanding of each other, and that deep desire to just be true partnerships, true partners, when moving forward. So yes, that's communication, that's fun, that's supportive, that's number one fan, that's go do your thing and live your best life and build your business because I support you. It's that type of energy. But that's cry on my shoulder because you're dealing with this from your childhood trauma, you know what I mean? But then This is what we're going to do to move forward. So that is like love. And that applies to what you said, like friendships and everything. Just love is just truly showing up, truly showing up, truly making that phone call of, hey, you came to my mind today and I wanted to make this phone call right now just because if I didn't do it right now, I wouldn't do it later because it's going to leave your mind later,
And the
So
person receiving that phone call has no
Mhm.
plan, was not prepared for that. But the amount of love that they feel, dude, girl, whatever the case, when you get that call from someone that's generally calling you literally because I love you, man,
Mhm.
no other feeling. And to me, Jess, I'm looking at love, romance, friends, whatever. When
Mhm.
shit goes bad, when it hits the fan, when it's not all good and you're still okay with it, you still want to be there. Now you know it's different. A lot of people will
100%.
jump it too early and you haven't had a fight yet. You haven't
Right.
seen that they snore. You haven't seen all the bad things. And if you're willing
Mhm.
to accept all those and still move forward, I love the Miami Heat and Atlanta Falcons. Like all the teams. Could care less to watch them. I've seen my dudes be trash, shitty, good, never left. I'm good for the
Right.
ups and I'm good for the downs. I applied the same for relationships and people.
100%.
I'm looking for it, Jess. I got to ask the people that have found it. You know what I'm saying?
I respect it. I respect it.
Now, I appreciate you coming on this show so much, Jess. Episode 25 of the official Wado podcast with the legendary JessRight. Please follow her on Instagram at JessRight with 2 T's. Don't play. She's got
I appreciate
all her links there. Any last words, Jess?
Listen, go buy some real estate. Follow me. If you do not know anything about real estate, let's talk about it. I feel like our community, especially our age group, they need to know more about real estate, whether it's purchasing, whether it's renting, whatever it is. Follow me. Let's talk about it. I think having conversations like this, Wado, just real life, real business, real, just real estate is needed in our community. So let's talk about it more. Let's have meetups. Let's have events. Let's make some content. Like let's just collab, because collaboration is key. So I appreciate you for having me.
Always. It's all love, Jess. You already know. I appreciate you coming on. Till next time, it's been the legendary JessRight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What a legend that is. I mean, I've known her since 6th grade. And when I didn't go too crazy on the hoop and talk, but let me tell you, she's a fucking hooper, okay? She was one of them hoopers, like I said, little point guard, little guard, but she had the ratchet over there in the corner, okay? Locked and loaded. A lot of females will hoop, and if they got that locked shot where that fucking elbow is tucked in, be careful. She's shooting the lights out. Jess was definitely doing that. So I appreciate Jess tuning in, popping on the Wado podcast with your boy, episode 25. We covered a lot there. Like I said, took notes. I hope you guys take some notes. This episode will be available live on YouTube right now as we post it. It will also be available live on all audio platforms if you just listen in the whip while you work out, while you're on the way to buy a real estate house. Hello, you just got some gems. Tighten up. It's the second person in my life told me I should do fucking real estate. It's not time. It's the Wado podcast time. Stay focused, stay determined. But if you want to do real estate, watch this back. A lot of gems. Okay, we still got Jess. Jess, are you still with me right now? Am I giving you the right outro? Okay, because I'm not playing.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
I get the hell out the live. She's still there, but I got to let her know she's a legend. So grateful that she came on this Wado podcast. Follow her at JessRight 2 T's. Don't play. And we got another special guest coming this week. A lot of special guests tuning in, coming on. And if I told you who they were, you wouldn't believe me. So I'm not going to tell you. I want to give you one, but I don't want to. So just know, keep tuning into the Wado podcast. Shout out to my dog, Coach JB, the real Coach JB, switching to strictly morning sessions now. So maybe if you guys are from JB's show, you want to tune in the afternoons with Wado, be more than welcome. We'll spit the bars. We'll keep it real, only the real, as you know. So till next time, we'll probably have another episode this Thursday with a special guest. And all next week, all this weekend, we're going live. Big UFC fights coming up this weekend. Woo-hoo, you know I'm ready. Charles Oliveira, Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley. Hey, listen. I'm not going to go there. That's a whole nother episode. We'll get there. I appreciate anybody that is tuning in, that has watched this show live with me, with Jess, anybody that watches moving forward. I appreciate you. Without you, I'm just a guy looking at my own self, talking to myself. So I appreciate you, man. It's all love. And as you guys know, it's the Wado Podcast. So I got to ask you, you know what's coming. How you living, baby? How you living? It's all perspective. Let's have a great day. Let's have a great week, because I hope you having a great day, a great week, great month, a great year. But most importantly, bitch, I hope you having a great life. It's all up to you. Let's make it happen. It's not promised, but we're going to execute if we can. I'm stumbling my words. I got to get out of here and watch it back. And I appreciate you for tuning in. Until next time, it's your boy YDOE.
Wide.
Wide.
I think so.
I think WHUDO.
Wide.
Oh, and I'm rolling while I drink. I hope that I can get your number and your name. I'm rolling backwards with a bottle of Bombay, and I might let the liquor speak just to see if I finally found the freak. Cause I'm rolling while I drink. I hope that I can get your number and your name. I'm rolling backwards with a bottle of Bombay, and I might let the liquor speak just to see if.
Thank you, Wado.
Wide.